Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Birmingham, England. We are live on DAZN for the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the interim WBC Flyweight Championship of the world. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Betfred, Stagefront, Apu.com, Riyadh Season, Drip, and Everlast. This bout is sanctioned under the auspices of the British Boxing Board of Control, the steward in charge, Matt Harris, and the World Boxing Council. The president, Mauricio Suleiman. The supervisor is Mr. Charles Giles. Introducing your three judges scoring this title contest from ringside. From Scotland, Victor Laughlin. From England, Mark Lyson. And also from England, Kevin Parker. And at the sound of the bell, your third man in the ring, A-star referee, Mr. Lee Every. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the stage is set and we are here. This is it. The time has come. I said the time has come. From the four corners of the world to the four corners of this ring right here in Birmingham, England, the fight starts now! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears gray with neon green. He scaled 7 stone, 13 pounds. Professional record, 21 victories, only 1 defeat. He has 4 wins coming by way of knockout. Originally from Croydon, London, and now living, training, and fighting out of the steel city of Sheffield, England, here is the former IBF flyweight champion of the world, Showtime, Sonny Edwards. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears black and gold. This skilled southpaw scaled at already 7 stone, 13 pounds, 4 ounces. His professional record, perfect. 8 fights, 8 victories, with 6 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Proudly fighting out of his home of Birmingham, England, here is the 2020 Olympic gold medalist, Galal Yafai.
A rousing set of introductions from tonight's MC, David Diamante. Now Lee Every with a final instruction.
When I say break, take a step back. Keep your hands up, protect yourself at all times. Good luck to you both. Good luck.
An intense stare down ahead of this all-British blockbuster between 2 titans of the 8-stone flyweight division. Will it be the front foot southpaw pressure of the marauding man from Birmingham, or the silky switch-hitting back foot skills of the Croydon counterpuncher? Which style will prevail in this battle for family bragging rights? We're underway. The first of 12 3-minute rounds in a classic crossroads encounter between the gilded amateur superstar seeking global recognition and a former world champion seeking to maintain his position at the pinnacle of the sport. And immediately, Galal Yafai out of that southpaw stance, wearing black trunks trimmed with gold, onto the front foot and taking it to Sonny Edwards, crowding him, forcing him from one set of the ropes to the other. Strong southpaw left to the body, right hook upstairs, and Galal Yafai all over Sonny Edwards like a rash in the first 40 seconds of this opening round. Keeping his composure is Sonny Edwards, currently pinned on the ropes just above our commentary position on the near side of the ring. Galal Yafai measured him with a long bridging southpaw right, drives in a left cross to the head, and then a left cross to the body. And Sonny Edwards on the back foot has not yet been able to establish his range, rhythm or distance. A left elbow from Galal Yafai beneath the chin of Sonny Edwards. Referee Mr. Lee Every on that infringement immediately. Galal Yafai out of centre ring, fires in 2 hurtful left crosses and followed by a long looping right hook, and Sonny Edwards spins off the rope to get himself back to the space of centre ring, but he's being touched up frequently. and he has not yet got his composure or his boxing stance beneath him, because while the sound of the bell was still reverberating around this arena here in Birmingham, Galal Yafai was on his man and letting his hands go from both flanks. Speculative right uppercut thrown by Sonny Edwards, who's currently operating as a southpaw. He is an adept switch hitter. And again, it's Galal Yafai walking into the front door and teeing off with both lefts and rights to the body, a spearing left cross in between the high-held hands of Sonny Edwards. Jolts his head back as the action is near the neutral corner on the far side of the ring. And it's Galal Yafai seeking to pin Sonny Edwards in this place of confinement. But there's no change in the expression on the face of Sonny Edwards as he scores with his best shot of the contest. A right cross out of the orthodox stance. He's now switched to the orthodox stance, leading with his left hand and left leg, but then back into the mix with a treble left cross, the second of which was a really stiff jolting shot. Here's Galal Yafai, and then he drops down with a left cross to the body. 40 seconds remaining in this opening round, and it is almost been one-way traffic. The Tokyo Olympic champion all over Sonny Edwards. But now Sonny Edwards, after referee Lievry steps in, just seeking to get his rhythm and range. Now he's back in the southpaw stance, fires a right jab, left cross, but he's then tied up by Galal Yafai, forcing the referee Lievry to step in with a command of break once again. Right jab to the body, left hook around the corner from Sonny Edwards, but then Galal Yafai rips an uppercut through the middle. The shot was ridden by Sonny Edwards to take some of the power off it. Good right hand to the ribcage from Galal Yafai, and now Sonny Edwards content to fight on the inside, just as he demonstrated in his sole defeat against pound-for-pound star Jesse Bam Rodriguez. What an opening round, Steve.
What a ferocious opening round, and don't worry, enough of those Galal shots were hurtful shots. I think he made Sonny stumble with a left cross after about 1 minute and 30 odd seconds. I think it was what we expected, but Sonny was really struggling to find any range, any distance there, Richie.
Yeah, he was. I think even Steve, that's a 10-9 round, but that could have been a 10-8. That was one-way traffic for Galal Yafai. He hurt him pretty early on with a good right hook from front pressure. I think Sonny Edwards was still in sort of a party mode as he's coming into this first round. He was too relaxed, and Galal has literally jumped on him and caught him with some good shots. But what I would say here, and my fear here, is for both boxers, there's going to be a cut here, because the heads are clashing far too much.
We talked about that in the walk. There is going to be a cut here unless they keep it clean.
So into the second round we go. Both boxers march out to the center of the boxing ring, and it's Galal Yafai pushing Sonny Edwards back to the neutral corner on this near side of the ring. Scores with a spearing left cross to the body, and now Sonny Edwards, operating as an orthodox boxer, scores with a sneaky counter right uppercut to the body of Galal Yafai. Just waited, made his man miss, and then snuck through that counter shot. And again, Sonny Edwards scoring with left uppercuts and a right cross out of that orthodox stance, adopting the half cover guard as he's driven back towards the blue corner on the far side of the ring. That's Galal Yafai's corner. But now Sonny Edwards managing to maintain a gap between himself and the marauding man from Birmingham. But then Galal Yafai closed it in a flash, and again he's digging away with hooks to both head and body from both hands. Southpaw left hand landed from Sonny Edwards, but Galal Yafai walking through it and teeing off to the ribcage of Sonny Edwards once again. Sonny Edwards trying to bob and weave, peering from behind high-held gloves. Nudging right uppercut got through from Galal Yafai, who is giving his man both volume and precision. There's a good straight shot to the body out of the neutral corner on this near side of the ring from Sonny Edwards. And now he's back as a southpaw boxer. He's the former IBF flyweight champion, but again just walking him down and pinning him to the ropes on the far side of the ring is Galal Yafai, long bridging his man, putting the heel of his right glove into the face of Sonny Edwards while seeking to score with the left. And he's again continuing that long bridging tactic, holding out his right hand like a broom handle just to keep Sonny Edwards at bay. Counter right hand from Sonny Edwards out of the southpaw stance is countered by a right hook from the southpaw Galal Yafai. And the greater volume, the greater work rate, the greater intensity is coming from the front foot pressure of Galal Yafai. Sonny Edwards up on his toes now, back as an orthodox boxer, hands down by his belt line, and again just trying to maintain some distance between himself and Galal Yafai as the crowd dial up their decibel level in support of the home boxer. Galal Yafai boxing in Birmingham for just a second time, lands with a strong stiff left cross which sends Edwards back to the ropes on the far side of the ring. Yafai then followed up with a good left hook to the body, but then Edwards, like the former world champion he is, rallying with a beautiful combination of southpaw shots to both head and body. But now it's Galal Yafai, first and third boxing from the Olympic champion, ripping through with uppercuts. Counter right uppercut from Sonny Edwards, then he tried a flashy left uppercut on the southpaw stance, and when he fired it the second time, he did get through, catching Galal Yafai on his bearded chin. Right hook out of the southpaw stance from Sonny Edwards, but Galal Yafai seemingly impervious to the punches that Sonny Edwards is landing. Remember, Sonny Edwards not a knockout puncher, just 4 inside the distance victories in his 21 wins for a 19% KO ratio, but he is beginning to find some holes in between the hands of Galal Yafai. But let's not get it. Oh, that's a beautiful counter left hand out of the southpaw stance from Sonny Edwards. But Galal Yafai doesn't blink and keeps the attack going with straight shots to both body and head. Steve Bunn.
That was absolutely perfect from Galal there. He just kept a bit of distance. It's like he'd heard Richie say about not getting too close, not getting your head too near, sitting too near Sonny Edwards' eyebrows or cheekbones or the top of his head. He kept that bit of distance. He boxed beautifully, boxed brilliantly. He doesn't look very happy in the corner, does he, Richie, Sonny?
He doesn't look very happy at all, and there's just no respite for Sonny Edwards. That's his problem. Yes, he's trying to get a bit of time and a bit of space between himself and Yafai, but the tactics here from Rob McCracken and Galal Yafai are absolutely spot on. Front foot pressure, and they're not giving him a second to breathe. He's hitting into the body, and I've got to tell you, Sonny Edwards is all over the place with his feet. He's on the ropes. He doesn't know whether he's orthodox or southpaw. He's too square on. He's getting caught left, right and centre. 2 big rounds for Galal Yafai to start the contest.
Absolutely, Richie.
Round 3.
So we move into the third round. Sonny Edwards, as is his wont, doesn't take a stall in between the rounds. He steady remained on his feet. It was a bit of a forlorn, if not phlegmatic, expression on the face of the former IBF champ. Referee Lee Every just had to separate the two, but again, crowding his man is Galal Yafai. He's pinned him to the ropes just above our commentary position on the near side of the ring. Edwards cleverly catapults off the ropes, only to find his head being pinged by straights, jabs and crosses, followed by a beautiful right uppercut from Galal Yafai. And Galal Yafai going through the gears here in the first 30 seconds of round number 3. And Edwards, he's not firing back. He's backed over to the ropes on the far side of the ring. He's trying to show Galal Yafai that he's in control and demonstrating composure, but 2 uppercuts nudge his chin once again. And still, Sonny Edwards has not let his hands go with any serious intent in this third round. There he tries the right jab, left cross with his back square on the ropes near the blue corner. And Galal Yafai continuing to tee off on the former IBF flyweight champion. These are difficult moments for Sonny Edwards with a minute gone in this third round. Now he cleverly gets himself out of the corner and back to the space of centre ring. Scores with a flashy bolo shot to the body with the right hand out of the orthodox stance, does Sonny Edwards. But Galal Yafai not showing any respect for the power or the switch hitting ability of Sonny Edwards. How significant were those spars? How significant is all the time that they've spent on the GB team together? And again, Galal Yafai said that if those spars hadn't gone his way, he wouldn't be taking this fight in just his 9th contest against the estimable ability of Sonny Edwards. Sonny Edwards on the ropes on the far side of the ring near the red corner once again. He's trying to fire an uppercut to catch the advancing Yafai, but Yafai just wearing these shots as though they're being thrown by feather dusters, continuing to walk his man down and crowd him at every opportunity. Sonny Edwards fires a speculative right hand, and all of a sudden he's being pushed back with greater ease by Galal Yafai now. Both men comfortably inside the flyweight limit of 8 stone, but it's Galal Yafai who looks the bigger, stronger, more robust and rugged fighter. Sonny Edwards pinned near the red corner, his own corner, on this near side of the ring. He's voluntarily retreated there to lean against the corner post. Sickening body shot landed by Galal Yafai. Clubbing right hand, followed by a left uppercut. And these are desperate times for Sonny Edwards, who comes back out to the space of centre ring on legs that are unsteady. Immediately he's pinned back against the red corner turnbuckle. And Galal Yafai just maintaining a gap, sinks in a good right hook to the body. Clever counter, 2-shot salvo from Sonny Edwards. But Galal Yafai, there's a clever left uppercut from Sonny Edwards just to keep Galal Yafai honest. But Galal Yafai walking in the front door and helping himself to the family silver. He is all over Sonny Edwards. And as the 10-second clapper sounds, it is another dominant round once again. Let's go over to the blue corner on the far side of the ring and listening to Robert McCracken, the chief trainer of Galal Yafai.
Okay? Relax. You got to watch when you're in front of him. He's trying to counter you, okay? Yeah, he's trying to counter you. I don't want you getting sloppy and switching off. Head movement, chin down before you punch, hands up, right? So you can deflect everything. Then I'll just lean on him or edge round the side of him when you're inside. Don't sit in front of him.
Smart advice there from Rob McCracken, Rich. He's trying to counter you. You've got to stay smart inside and relax. And part of that relax is don't try too hard. It's going to come. It's going to come.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I think McCracken knows he's just wearing his opponent down. I thought there was glimpses there. Sonny Edwards occasionally does something out extraordinary. The odd uppercut, the odd screw shot, which is absolutely brilliant. His problem is he wants time after that to recover and to regroup. And Galal Yafai is on him like a flash.
And Galal was smiling as the big punches went in.
Incidentally, Sonny Edwards did take a seat on the stall in the red corner in between rounds 3 and 4. We're into the 4th round, and again, it's the same pattern resuming once again, but there's a beautiful 2-shot salvo out of the southpaw stance off the back foot from Sonny Edwards. Right jab, left cross, but he's just been bulldozed across the ring by Galal Yafai. Finds himself square on the ropes once again. Clever counter-punching off the strands from Sonny Edwards, but Galal Yafai simply will not leave him alone, continuing to score with long, scything hooks. There's a left cross from Sonny Edwards, but again, remember, he is not a noted power puncher, and Galal Yafai just disregarding the scoring shots that the former IBF Kingpin is landing. There's a left jab off the ropes at the neutral corner on the far side of the ring, landed by Sonny Edwards. He then crowds his way back out to centre ring, lands with a right uppercut, only to be countered by a left uppercut from Galal Yafai. Beautiful right hand bolo shot to the body from Sonny Edwards, who is demonstrating his ability to fight in a blizzard against the non-stop activity of Galal Yafai. Referee Lievry just comes in between the two, tells Sonny Edwards to keep his punches up. There was a sporting touch of gloves on the resumption. And then on the resumption, it is non-stop combination punching from Galal Yafai. Spinning off the line counterclockwise to his right is Sonny Edwards. He dropped his gloves momentarily, took in a big intake of breath, and in that time, he was tagged by a right uppercut and a straight left cross to the body. He's square on the ropes once again before spinning off behind the half-cover guard to his left in a clockwise fashion. He's trying some flashy shots, uppercuts from around his kneecap, Sonny Edwards. He got through with a good right jab and left cross, but once again, he finds Galal Yafai practically sitting on his chest, who is ripping through uppercuts and hooks around the corner. Sonny Edwards operating out of a half-cover guard, his left hand down by his knees, pinned square on the ropes once again. He's trying to bob and weave. He's hit by a jolting left cross, and then another 2-shot salvo, right jab, left cross from Galal Yafai. And now he's pinned in the blue corner, uppercuts and hooks ripping through. Referee Lievry taking a close look as Galal Yafai going through the gears. Sonny Edwards biting down on his gum shield, trying to keep his wits about him, and just poking out a speculative right hand just to keep Galal Yafai honest. But Galal Yafai remaining patient and looking to pick his shots in between the attempted defenses of Sonny Edwards. Sonny Edwards slides off the ropes to his right, only to find himself near the neutral corner on this near side of the ring. He's pinned against the ropes once again, and Galal Yafai setting his feet in the canvas and continuing to rattle the ribcage of Sonny Edwards and score effectively upstairs with hooks behind the gloves. Beautiful double right hook to the body beneath the left elbow of Sonny Edwards from Galal Yafai. Then he lands with a left cross after a right jab. Good right hand successes for Sonny Edwards, but all the volume, the greater number of punches, the more hurtful punches coming from Galal Yafai. It's a champion's pride keeping Sonny Edwards in this fight along with his conditioning. There he cleverly spins out of the red corner and lands with a right cross, and Galal Yafai waves his right arm in celebratory fashion. It looks like he thinks he's got him, Steve.
You know what, if you're a Sonny Edwards fan, if you've enjoyed him over the years from junior to senior to pro, that was a very unpleasant round to have to watch. Galal was brilliant there. Sonny's bravery and just, as you say, Rich, he is trying everything he could possibly do. It's just not working.
It's an amazing contest, this is, because you are actually asking the question now, how long will Sonny Edwards go on for in this contest? Because it looked like one point there where the referee was very close, I thought, literally in the opposite, in the corner, in his home corner, literally jumping in and maybe stopping the contest. And you're looking at Sonny Edwards towards the end of that round and you're thinking, how much has he got left? He's being caught left, right and centre. His problem is he can't keep him off, but his feet, Steve, he's far too square. He's getting hit with everything.
Galal's going to go to the body in this round. He's going to go heavily to the body.
So into the 5th round we go. You're listening to World Class Boxing, the WBC interim flyweight title on the line on BBC 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Galal Yafai, the Tokyo Olympic champion, taking it to the former IBF flyweight champion for the 4 completed rounds we have had. And once again, Sonny Edwards immediately finding himself pinned on the ropes near the blue corner on the far side of the ring. He spins off counterclockwise and lands with a spearing right jab, left cross out of the southpaw stance. But again, Galal Yafai showing no respect or regard for the power of Sonny Edwards and just walking through any shots that Sonny Edwards lands. And he is, in this round, landing a few cultivated shots from both left and right hands. There's a beautiful counter left jab from Sonny Edwards, who's now an orthodox boxer after making Yafai miss and then made him pay with that stinging lead left. Heads come together on the inside with the boxer just above our commentary position with Sonny Edwards on the ropes once again. Oh, beautiful left uppercut, right hook from Sonny Edwards as he was moving backwards, but roughhouse tactics being employed by the swarming Galal Yafai. Again, spinning off the ropes to center ring is Sonny Edwards, but he's being backed up by a piston-like lead right jab. Good right hook to the body from Galal Yafai, countered by a right hand out of the orthodox stance. Upstairs by Sonny Edwards. Good left uppercut to the body from Sonny Edwards, who's having more successes in this round as Galal Yafai continuing to seek openings in his defense. Long punches his man with a jab, and he's beginning to piece him up with that lead right stick, getting it in between the glove defenses of Sonny Edwards, and now Edwards finding himself pinned on the ropes once again. He voluntarily retreats back there against the strands, trying to box off the ropes, but he's being crowded and swarmed and marauded by Galal Yafai, who simply will not give him any room to breathe. Good right jab to the body, left cross upstairs from Galal Yafai, and Sonny Edwards lands a beautiful right uppercut. But again, the bearded chin of Galal Yafai simply doesn't budge. Right cross off the ropes from Sonny Edwards. Edwards near the ropes, near the red corner. There's a cracking right uppercut out of the southpaw stance that swivels the head of Sonny Edwards. His eyeballs were in orbit. He's gamely fighting back, firing straight shots off the ropes, ended by a single left cross. And this could well be a last roll of the dice for Sonny Edwards, because his legs are becoming ragged, his movements are becoming weary, as another thunderbolt of a left cross drives through to check the chin of Sonny Edwards. And now he's sitting on the ropes in the red corner on his own near side of the ring, and it's Galal Yafai teeing off as though he's working the heavy bag. Sonny Edwards again rallying with a 2-shot salvo as referee Lievry keeping a close eye on the proceedings. Galal Yafai takes a stiff left cross out of the southpaw stance from Sonny Edwards. And Sonny Edwards has weathered that tumultuous storm launched by Galal Yafai, who finds himself on the canvas as he threw a right hook with such ferocity that his momentum carried him over. Now referee Lievry has called time and he's speaking to the blue corner, Robert McCracken. So what is the issue here? Galal Yafai has been led to the neutral corner on the far side of the ring, and I think there may be blood from a rather strange place, the left ear of Galal Yafai. Time has been called by referee Lee Everett. The doctor has been called up, can't get a clear vantage point of the injury that may have been sustained, and indeed it is blood from the left ear of Galal Yafai. And that, the final action on the resumption, and there's a sporting touch of gloves to end the round. What another blistering performance by Galal Yafai, Steve Bunt.
Now I think we should try and go in. Let's go into Sonny's corner. Can we get into Sonny's corner?
Another round or two, lads, we might have to match, you know what I mean? Just try and keep working yourself. When you're getting back up against these ropes, like I keep saying to you, I know you can't move your feet, I know your legs are gone. Just make sure you're throwing these ramses back. You can't miss with your backhand as you're stepping in. Just put your head, just staying still, you know what I mean? One more thing.
Well, fellas, we heard it there from Chris Williams. I know you can't move your feet. Your legs are gone. That was what Sonny was telling him 2 rounds ago, Richie.
Yeah, no, Steve, that's come from Sonny, you see. Sonny's saying my legs are gone. So he's really tired in there. He's getting caught with big shots. Again, he was very close to being stopped there. And yet there were glimpses in that round with some of the shots that he threw Sonny Edwards were absolutely fantastic. But he's just out on his feet, the kid is.
So into the 6th round we go, and Galal Yafai perhaps has a better sense than anybody that his former amateur rival and his longtime sparring partner Sonny Edwards is running out of gas before our very eyes. And he has set about his man in the middle of the boxing ring once again. Sonny Edwards trying every trick in the book, reaching into his bag to give his man angles, but he finds himself pinned on the ropes over in the blue corner once again. He said to his trainer, Chris Williams that his legs are no longer working and he simply cannot move to use his fantastic footwork that has served him so well in his 22 bouts to date to stay out of this bulldozing figure from Birmingham who continues to march him down and score effectively to both body and head. Sonny Edwards pinned in the neutral corner just above our commentary position on the near side of the ring, and it's Galal Yafai hitting him with a beautiful right hook once again, measuring his man. There's another slapping right hook, and Sonny Edwards' head is being reduced to a pinball, buffeted left and right, pushed back into the corner by Galal Yafai. Counter left cross from Sonny Edwards, but referee Lievry keeping a close eye on proceedings. But Sonny Edwards is being overwhelmed, and again, straight shots firing in, and the roar of the crowd tells you that Lievry has stepped in to call a halt to this contest. Midway through the 6th round, a dominant display from Galal Yafai, the Olympic champion from Tokyo 3 years ago, comes of age in the professional ranks, inflicting the 2nd professional loss on the ledger of the former IBF world champion Sonny Edwards. A dominant display from opening bell to the conclusion. And it's Galal Yafai who improves his perfect record to 9-0 with 7 stoppages, legitimizing his position as one of the very best flyweights in the world. We said it was a crossroads encounter, and even though Galal Yafai is the older man, he proved that he's fresher in terms of professional ambition, and Sonny Edwards gave it a best shot. He played his part in what was a terrific contest, but Sonny Edwards overwhelmed, outgunned, and ultimately stopped in the 6th round. The winner, and still undefeated, and now the WBC interim flyweight champion of the world, is Galal Yafai. Sonny Edwards stopped in round number 6.
Well, we're hearing all sorts of things floating around. I mean, we heard that, but we heard him say, we heard Chris Williams say to him at the end of the 5th, your legs are gone. We're now hearing that people at ringside allegedly heard Sonny say after 2 rounds, I don't want to be here. And that's what it looked like. Richie was whacking me in the ribs at the end of that 2nd round. It looked like he was looking to pull himself out. So he's basically just offered himself to be beaten up, Rich. He wasn't in the fight from the 1st second of the 1st round.
He wasn't, was he? He wasn't in the fight. He looked very relaxed as he was coming into the contest. But I think Galal Yafai has really surprised Sonny in probably how strong he was in that contest, especially very early on. And I think Sonny was hoping to have a little bit more time and a bit more space, but Galal denied him that. He just literally jumped on him. And you have to remember, from them sparring sessions also, they're wearing 16-ounce gloves, so they're not being hurt as much. But when you've got those 8-ounce gloves on what they've got there, or 10-ounce, whatever they are, I think they're 8-ounce, Steve, on there, that weight. 8-ounce gloves, you know, every shot you're going to feel. And Sonny Edwards, I thought, was hurt very early on in the contest, but his problem was he could not, and we spoke about this before. The tactic here from Galal Yafai was to start quick, because he knew he had to get Sonny Edwards into an area where he was going to be tired, and he's got to get him quickly, because if it was a slow pace, then Sonny Edwards could get to the end of the fight. We spoke about this earlier, Steve. So for me, Galal Yafai had to set that quick pace, and Sonny Edwards could not adjust to the pace that was in front of him. That was his biggest problem. And for me, his feet far too square, his ring craft was awful, kept getting pushed back to the ropes, sitting on the ropes, and he was literally a sitting duck. Take nothing away from Galal Yafai, that was a magnificent performance.
It was cultured, it was smart, it was brilliant. It's flawless.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Lievry calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 1 minute and 10 seconds of round number 6. Declaring your winner by TKO. He's still undefeated. And the new interim WBC flyweight champion of the world, Galal Yafai.
Well, what a wonderful moment we are observing in the boxing ring. The interim WBC title was taken from MC David Diamante by Sonny Edwards and graciously presented to Galal Yafai, who extends his perfect record, and the respect between the two men evident. They're sharing an embrace. They are all smiles. But that green strap that Galal Yafai is in possession of, it's the interim WBC title. And why that is important is because if something befalls Kenshiro Teraji of Japan, who only claimed that WBC title in October, a couple of months ago, over the former WBC champion Christopher Rosales of Nicaragua. If something befalls the man from Japan, then Galal Yafai will be elevated to full championship status. But that's all the politics, that's all boxing admin. In the meantime, he's posing with his boxing brothers, Gamal Yafai, the former European champion, and Kal Yafai, the former WBA world champion. It's the boys from Birmingham who have come out on top tonight, and it was a masterful, marauding performance from Galal Yafai from opening bell to last. In stark contrast, Sonny Edwards being consoled over in the red corner on the near side of the ring. And Steve, well, it's a golden future for Galal Yafai. What does the fistic future hold for Sonny Edwards?
Well, I'm hoping when I get up in the ring and speak to him, he talks about the weight making. I saw him at the weigh-in yesterday. Now, Sonny never ever looks good when he makes that 8 stone, 118 pound limit. He never ever looks good. He looks good the next day or better the next day. But I thought, and it's not me being an after time, I told you guys on air, I thought he looked particularly bad yesterday. So I'm assuming he's going to move up because he can't be finished. It's only his 23rd fight. It's only his second defeat. You know, he's not finished as a fighter. I want to explore, and I think we need to explore when I get up there, hopefully with him, whether or not he did feel that he shouldn't have been in there and he didn't feel like he'd been there. Because that could mean, and he hinted to me yesterday in an interview I did, that there'd been a lot of problems going on. So perhaps those problems are on top of him. Perhaps things are on top of him. Fighters can lose fights before the first bell. Fighters can lose fights a long way from the first bell. And when you're into the first bell, it gets even worse. So for Sonny Edwards, I don't know. A flyweight Sonny Edwards, finito, Ron. Absolutely gone. As for Galal, it's a lovely, perfect future.
It most certainly is. And Richie, just give us a fighter's perspective to hear the admission that we are gleaning ringside. We picked it up in his body language. He looked forlorn. He was trying to maintain a phlegmatic expression, but he looked a little bit sorry for himself at times in between rounds. His cornerman was trying to rouse him. What's it like to be in the boxing ring when it's not your night and you're being worked over like that? I know it's not something you've experienced often, but just give us a fighter's perspective of what Sonny Edwards will have been feeling tonight.
Well, like I said, I think that probably the person who's most surprised will be Sonny Edwards, because like I said before, they sparred many times, and some of those spars, I'm hearing reports that Sonny got the better of it, then I heard Galal got the better of it towards the end of the spars. So Sonny would have been very surprised how strong Galal Yafai was very early, because most people that I spoke to about this contest said Sonny Edwards going into the second half of the fight will be ahead because he's very quick very early on in the contest. He's very reactive. He's a reactive sort of fighter. He'll go orthodox, he'll go southpaw. He deals with what's in front of him, and he deals with it up until this contest with relative ease. That's how skillful he is. But it was the pace that was the problem here. Galal set a really high pace, and that's probably tactic has come from Rob McCracken. They've got that absolutely spot on, not to give him any room, any time, any space at all, and push him back to the ropes. He was more vulnerable on the rope because naturally any boxer who goes back onto the ropes, your feet always come square. When your feet come square, your body becomes square, and it's a bigger target to aim at, and that's what Galal targeted. So Sonny just lost his way, I think, mentally and physically in there, and then it just got worse and worse. Occasionally though, Ronald, you've seen the odd glimpse from Sonny Edwards, the odd shot here and there. He's a class kid. He really has got a lot of talent. Yes, he'll be absolutely heartbroken. Yes, he's got to move up. Will he go on? I think he definitely should, because what I've seen from him there, he's still got lots and lots of skills. He's just got to get his head together again now. But for me, he's definitely got to move up, and he'll be stronger in the next weight division.
Thoughts of the former WBC super middleweight champion of the world, Richie Woodall. Steve Bunce is up on the apron of the boxing ring, waiting to speak to both victor and vanquished here at the BP Pulse Live Arena in Birmingham tonight. But as we've pointed out in the build-up, and as you've just alluded to, for a boxer such as Sonny Edwards, a back foot switch-hitting, counter-punching maestro, he said that his legs had gone, and that, in addition to everything else, is perhaps his first line of defense.
Yes, you see, his leg's gone, probably because of a couple of reasons. Maybe he's been difficult to make the weight, yes, but he got hurt early on in the contest for me, Ronald. Right from the very first round, there was a couple of good right hooks went in from Galal Yafai, a couple of good body shots that he targeted. He was targeting the body of Sonny Edwards, and that's what you do with any good moving boxer. You target the body, that literally slows the feet down. So he was hurt early on in the contest, and he couldn't get out of the rut. And like I said, it was the pace of Yafai that he couldn't cope with. And, you know, he is a natural switch hitter, he's a natural counter puncher, and what they crave most is time and space. And that's exactly what Galal Yafai denied him tonight. Didn't give him any time, certainly didn't give him any space, was on his chest, boxed a clever contest because the heads rubbed a couple of times, and like Steve pointed out, he then just sat back a little bit occasionally, Galal, instead of going in on the front foot, just hit him and just held his feet so he's not leaning in after the punch, and so that then made sure that there wasn't any head clashes. A clever performance, dominant on the front foot from Yafai.
So Galal Yafai, who's made that transition from the Olympic title after going through 2 Olympic cycles, remember, Carl Froch opined that this contest perhaps coming a couple of fights too early, but the brains trust behind Galal Yafai, his brothers Khalid and Gamal, alongside Robert McCracken, deciding that this was the right time to make this match against Sonny Edwards, who has only lost once against pound-for-pound superstar Bam Rodriguez, remember. And Bam Rodriguez didn't get it done in as emphatic and impressive a fashion as Galal Yafai had just demonstrated tonight. That will have put the rest of the flyweight division on notice, and again, from a boxing politics point of view, he is the new WBC interim flyweight champion of the world. And now, well, he's just posing for a few more photographs, but he is poised to speak with Steve Bunce up on the apron of the boxing ring. Well, he was poised, but I just think he's continuing to remove the hand wraps. And now, here he is, the new WBC interim champion. He's with both fighters, actually, Steve Bunce. Steve, it's over to you.
Listen, fellas, I've got to tell you, it was breathtaking. It was brilliant from the start. It was hard. It was grueling. You had to be at your best, and Sonny, you fought your heart out. I'm going to start with you, Galal. What were you thinking as the rounds were going on?
You know what? I don't know what I was thinking. It's a fight, you know. Sonny, you know, like I said earlier, I had the best camp I could. I was scared going into camp, worried what Sonny could do to me in front of everyone. I sparred him. He was hard to spar. He's beat me before. He's been the man in the division. So I had to train as hard as I could to compete with him. But whatever Sonny decides to do, he's been the man for a couple of years, for a long time now. And I've looked up to him, so it's nice to have beat him. But like I said, it's 1-1. Maybe we can finish on that note.
Sonny, now I couldn't quite hear what was being said, and I can see from your face how down you are. Did you say you were retiring there, Sonny? Did you say you were thinking of quitting? What did you say exactly?
I'll be real. Win, lose or draw, I'll be real. If I won the fight, I was going into the sunset. I'll be real. I would have said that, you know, this is the last thing that I'd wanted to do, sort of, you know, get the scalp of that, the Olympics. And yeah, man, disappointing tonight, but I don't know, I probably left a few clues, man. You can probably see in a few posts, the last dance, I knew, man. I knew, I'll be real. And if I'm being perfectly honest, my body's falling apart, man. My body's falling apart.
A lot of years.
I've got bad ankles, I've got bad wrists, I've got bad shoulders, I've got bad back. Everything about me is bad at this moment. I've had 23 and pretty much 16 or 17 title fights in the space of 7 years. I don't knock anyone out, so I've got to go all the rounds, you know what I mean? So it's just been hard, man. It's been a hard wear and tear on my body. I probably haven't looked after it the way that I really should have with my diet, and, you know, I think it's just broke down a little bit when I didn't need it to today, and I got in there straight away. My legs felt heavy, and I felt like I couldn't get away from him. So, yeah, man, well done to Galal. Like I said, if we weren't in the same weight divisions, we'd probably be really, really, really good friends, man. We've always got on when he was coming up and coming up sparring me, and any little bit of advice I felt like appropriate to give him, I tried to, man. I wanted this night, I wanted this fight. Win, lose or draw, this moment had to happen, and it did. And, you know, just the way the cookie crumbles, that Galal was the much better man on the night.
You know what, Sonny, if it's the last fight you have, let me just tell you this now, it's been a pleasure and a privilege to cover you, son. You've covered yourself in glory, you've been brilliant, in defeat, you've been absolutely fantastic, you've been all right. You get yourself off with your corner. Sonny, thank you very much indeed.
And a big well done to Galal Yafai, man, the number 1 in the division right now, man, and I mean that.
Sonny Edwards, Galal, let me ask you, Galal, I don't think you put a foot wrong, and I'm not just saying that. The first round you got a bit close with your head, then you adjusted your feet, as Richie Woodall said. It was flawless. Could you have even dreamed it would be that good?
Not really. No. You know, I'm the type of person who thinks it worse sometimes, man. I think it's just me in my career. I put too much pressure.
You can celebrate this one, son. You can celebrate this one.
Yeah, I can celebrate. You know, Sonny's a top competitor. He's someone I've always wanted to beat. I knew I was better, but so was Sonny, and there's never been no bad blood between us. I respect him, he respects me, and whatever he tries to do, he's been a great advocate for British boxing, never mind flyweight boxing.
Ed, could I bring you over, Eddie? Eddie, Sonny's going to walk away into the sunset. He said his body can't do it anymore. I fancied Galal would win. I thought he might get to him, but I didn't think it would be that good, that precise, and that cold and that cruel. I thought he was brilliant tonight.
That's what it was. It was ice cold.
It was.
He weren't even breathing, even in the 6th round, you know, and it was just the pressure that he applied, but he did it real smart. You know, it's the difference between just coming out like a lunatic, and there's a difference between cutting off a fantastic mover with great feet, and he did it so early. You know, he did what Jesse Rodriguez took 4, 5, 6 rounds to do. He did it from the first bell, and look, you saw tonight a guy who was towards the end of his career to a guy who's just getting started. That was just his 9th fight. And he's going to be in massive fights. He's an extreme talent. He's Olympic gold medalist. He's WBC interim world champion, and a huge future ahead.
Stay there if you can. And what would you like next? I know you just want to go home and eat some food and relax with your family and swell back up to 9 stone. But what would you like next, Galal? And you're allowed to dream. You're allowed to smile, son.
By the way, I don't go up to 9 stone. I'm professional. Mate, you know what I mean?
8 stone 13.
Or I don't mess around. I don't go heavy. I'm professional, and some people say, well, you're so professional all the time, have a rest. But this is what it does to me, it helps me. But like I said, whatever they want me to do, I'll just do the training and the fighting, and I let Matchroom Eddie and the team get me who they want.
Galal, you were flawless tonight. You were absolutely brilliant tonight. Thanks very much. You got for your corner, Ed. If I could just keep you for a second or two. Eddie, that was, now that he's gone, that adjustment after the first round where he just moved his it was flawless.
Unexpected. I mean, all week, you know, last few days we've been kind of around the fight hotel. Everyone kept coming up, what do you think? I don't know. I mean, Sonny was the slight favourite going into the fight, and it's just the difference between a young, fresh, hungry fighter and someone, I mean, I had no idea, no one had any idea that this was going to be his last fight tonight, you know, and I think that it just goes to show you that he just had the soul punched out of him in the first 4 rounds. And he was brave, and I heard the corner clip after 2 or 3 rounds when he was getting pummeled, and he said, look, I don't want to be here in here anymore, you know, and I get that because he was getting pummeled, and it was so relentless. It was like non-stop. Every time the ref they'd break, Sonny would reset and he'd be back on him at angles, in here, body, head, you know, and it was like, well done, mate. And it was like, in the end, to be fair, I think the corner done a good job to sort of rattle him up, and he came back fighting. He stood, he held his feet, but he was just like, it's the volume punching of Galal Yafai. It's sensational, and he's going to be in some unbelievable fights. I mean, Terrazas against Rosales, I think Terrazas will win that fight. He fights like a Mexican. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, I think he's got a huge future ahead because he lives the life, like he just said to you there. I mean,
he jumped on me, didn't he?
I mean, literally, I've never seen a fighter throw so many punches and not be breathing. He didn't gulp. You didn't see his rib cage elevate for 6 rounds. It was unbelievable. And you know, he's a very, very, very special fighter. I think sometimes the lighter weight classes don't quite get the recognition, but we should also not forget that he won Olympic gold for Great Britain. Like, that is not an easy feat. That's something that happens.
5 fights.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, just at the beginning of his professional career, and that was just red hot, and ice cold.
So Shinzari Taraji in Japan is the WBC full champion. I'm assuming we'd go there if the money was right and the deal looked good.
Yeah, I mean, he fights Rosales, you know, and you got Japanese, I believe, will take the world championship. There's a big market out there for the lower weights. It's going to be difficult to get those guys over here, but we had a great crowd tonight. Birmingham's really thriving, and, you know, he's just going to be in great fights, and we just got to manoeuvre him right. It's difficult because he's got time and he's not had many fights, but then when you do that to Sonny Edwards, it's hard to hold them back. And I don't believe in holding a fighter back when they've got that kind of momentum, because they can sometimes start treading water, and that's no good for him. You know, he's not a spring chicken. I mean, he's fresh as a daisy, But, you know, in terms of age, he's ready to go. So he proved tonight that he's one of the best in the division, if not potentially the best in the flyweight division. And, you know, one day we got another gentleman by the name of Jesse Bam Rodriguez. I was actually watching that in the 4th, 5th round going, one day those two are going to be in a hell of a fight, you know. So, well done. Amazing show. And, you know, I won't say that a new British star is crowned. I feel like he is, you know, he should already be a star. So, brilliant performance.
It was indeed. Listen, Ed, thanks very much for your time in your week. See what I do there? So I don't do 50 questions about all the other stuff that's going on. That's the way we do it. You can float away. But I've got to say it again. See, of course you'll see this, Ed. Let me just say this, Ed. You had the sky blue Dolce & Gabbana thing on the other day, which was beautiful. You've come out today in the most Miami Vice white top. I love it. I'd kill for that shirt.
I think that someone asked me if I'd put a flake in it for him, because apparently I look like an ice cream man, but I don't know what I'm doing, Bunsey. I'll just stick the clobber on and hopefully it works. Sometimes it does, sometimes.
I'm jealous. I love it. It's here in Saudi. Thanks very much. Eddie Hearn there. There's a look. I've interviewed Eddie a lot after fights, Ronald and Richie, okay? And I've interviewed him after fights that were maybe more exciting. But there was just a look there in Eddie's eyes. It was like, wow, I like that. I really enjoyed that. You know what? That's the look I've got in my eyes. If I looked in the mirror now, it's a mirror that I was impressed. That was brilliant tonight. Back to you two fellas. I'm not going. I'm coming back. Don't worry. Thanks, man.
Steve Burns just walking the ring apron as though it's a tightrope, making his way down the 3 steps, and he's coming back to join Richie and I in the commentary box. But Richie, both boxers speaking so well, but for Sonny Edwards, again, is somebody that we've covered from his amateur days all the way through to the pinnacle of claiming that IBF world title and defending it 4 times. He deciding to call it a day here. And he said, irrespective of the outcome, he would have decided to hang it up because his body's just not there for him anymore.
Yeah, a little bit. I was a little bit surprised actually at that. And who knows? He may rethink because he's acting literally on impulse really. So let's wait and see. But yeah. He has had a long career, and he said it himself in that you got to remember he's gone 12 rounds 7 times, hasn't he? And that's because he's not really a big puncher and he has to train a little bit harder to get through those 12 rounds. And yes, he's had a long career. But yeah, I think he might regret what he said there about retiring when he's recovered, because all boxers do when they're recovered and they feel good again. They go down to the gym and they start hitting the bag, and then he might just regret it. Who knows? We might see him again. I hope we do, because like I said, I thought he was well beaten here tonight, but he did show glimpses and signs of the skills that he has. I think he'd be much more better in the division above him, and I still think he could probably box for a world title at super flyweight.
Stephen Nolan will be coming up shortly. We're just going to wrap things up from the BP Pulse Live Arena in Birmingham here tonight. But as you say, how tempting is it likely to be, Richie? Because that is something that all athletes go through, particularly in contact sports, in physical sports, and no more physical a sport than boxing. You take some time off, injuries heal, and all of a sudden you feel better, and what you could do previously you can now do once again. And he's still a name, he's still a talent. How tempting is it going to be to get back into the ring and compete again?
Well, like I say, and at flyweight, at 28, yes, okay, a lot of people will say, well, up to 30, then the flyweights and superflies literally hit their peak, and then they're on a downer then after the age of 30. So he's still 28, still got a couple of years. It'll all be down to the mental state that he recovers, how he recovers, and how he's going to come back at it. But Ronald, trust me, it will depend on what he got in his life, how busy he's going to be. If he's going to be doing nothing, if he's got no other trade and he knows just nothing about but boxing, then he'll probably go back to the gym and just feel his way back. But I actually think he will actually box again, because I've been there. You feel that once you've recovered and you really and everything's settled down, he may come back and think, you know what, I want to have another go at it, because I still think as a boxer he's still got something left to offer, and I believe he could still box for a world title, but it would be at Superfly. So time's a great healer, Ronald, so we may see him again.
It most certainly is. And Steve, he's already said he's got other things going on in his life, to Richie's point. He's already a manager. He's already working with Grant Smith as a trainer up in the corner. So much more he can contribute to the boxing business in the event that he does decide to hang it up and call it a day.
Yeah, if he's going to be a boxer, he's got to change his lifestyle. That's what Charlie's brother said to me. He's got to change his lifestyle. He's got to completely devote himself to boxing. So what will happen though, Rich? He'll let his body heal. He's broken at the moment in every which way and shape, okay? He'll let his body heal. Then he'll think about coming back and then hopefully, when he's thinking about coming back, he'll be honest enough with himself. If I never see him fight again, I wouldn't be bothered. As for Galal, 9 fights, you do that to a man like Sonny Edwards, that's some future, Ronald, that's some future.
It most certainly is. So Sonny Edwards perhaps off into the sunset. As for Galal Yafai, the newly minted WBC interim champion with a golden future. Stephen Nolan will be on air shortly, but now let's get the latest BBC headlines with Andy Barwell.